Hmm. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you, beautiful presence hearts, sacred hearts, golden hearts, diamond hearts. I'm going to wait for a few minutes here as others are joining in because my Facebook, I wasn't able to join in. I wasn't able to go live there. So thank you so much for joining. For those of you who are joining me on YouTube, thank you so much. Please introduce yourself in the comments section and where you're joining from. And on my Instagram page, thank you so much for joining this celebration today. Please let me know where you're joining from and what city, state, country. I appreciate you taking part and being with me here today. Thank you so much. Let me see. Let me just put this here. Okay, one second. This is for my Instagram channel. So thank you so much, everyone. Blessed day to all of you. Today is Thursday. It is the 27th of January, and today is the 1 year, 365 days, exactly 1 year anniversary of this profound day last year where I had a full nervous breakdown and panic attack. And I was right here in this room here, and I was sharing how it was just, it was a very dark place because there was this pain inside of me that was so bigger than me. And it was time to face it. But as many of us that we've done a lot of healing work over the years, but there's this core part that has put like a hole inside of us, and we never really truly wanted to face it. So as a result of it, it was time to face it, and it wasn't easy. I was just massive panic attack, and right here in this room here, I remember my youngest son Nevon. He held me really tight, and he said, "Mommy, you're one of the strongest people I know. Go face what you need to face." And so I did. I came here, and 3 hours I sat in this place, and I gave myself I just released all resistance and just gave it on. 3 hours here in the silence I sat, and I was able to meet the little me, the honey me, the little honey, the teenager honey, the adult honey, the elderly honey. And I was able to then meet my higher honeys, and I was able to meet, most importantly, my Holy Christed self, and then my highest self. And my higher self came in and literally navigated this realm of pain in my emotional body to then transform it by meeting it, by literally facing what needed to be faced, and then bring it into my physical body, to then through my physical body it can transform, because it had stayed in my emotional body and it had remained tight in the mitochondria of my cells since I was 1 year old because of the sexual abuse as a 1 year old. So the pain was so much, I just didn't want to face it. And of course, I'd done years of healing, years, but never directly like this. So what was so profound that day was, it was the start. It was the beginning of me not running away and breathing through it, like literally breathing through it, and watching how my higher self helped me go through it. So, as most of you know, I took off 5 months, no service to anyone, to any clients, any event. And I just literally took the time for me. No planetary work, no channeling, no transmission, no light code, no light language. And it was that moment that I also said, I was literally asked not to put light around me anymore, not to call in guides, nothing. And it was time for me to sit with me. So this is exactly last year today. So for 365 days, I've been sitting in this place of silence, whether it's been like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, or 3 hours every single day. I'm sitting in this silence. And I've been able to meet what shows up in the silence, from the traumas, the hurt, the pain, the sufferings, all of it. And what took place was this first 5 months, I met so much of these heavier energies. And as I met them, I was able to have literally like a council meeting with all of them, not running away from them, really being there with them. Hi, Michael, my love. And not going anywhere other than really being with it, because every single one of them had a message for me. So it was like as if I had several chairs, and the pain was sitting in one chair, anger was sitting in one chair, suffering was sitting in one chair, hurt was sitting in one chair. So all of them, one by one, they started showing up because I wasn't running away anymore. And they each had a message that I've been running away, not wanting to hear it because it just hurt so much. And it was very, very painful. So as this began, what started happening was my field began to become lighter and lighter. Now imagine I am a full-time healer, a transformational healer, and I've been able to do codes and lights and channel the masters, bring it in, and remove entities, all of these things for so many people. The thing that was most profound in this year, as I sit here, and I started last year, this day, exactly 365 days ago, I didn't call in any more guides. My most important thing is I was always looking for security and safety, because this incarnation coming in was not a safe, secure space in any way, shape, or form for me. Because complete violation on numerous levels, safety completely not there. And as a child, impacted a lot. So I had to continuously go back to these childhood memories, but not, what happened was meet it, not drown in it, and meet it and meet the energy, meet the emotion that showed up, and meet it and hug it, allow then my higher self to hug it, my presence to then come be the space holder for us. And my entire higher self showed me how to do this. So as I went through this for the first month, and I cut off from everything and everyone, and as I went through this, I started to feel lighter and lighter, lighter. Things started to shift around me. Things started to shift first inside of me. My vibration started rising. The first thing was my nervous system. Finally, I was able to have my nervous system not signal unsafe anymore. So much of my life has been around protection and safety, and that's, I also work with the masters and angels and all of that around us. So I stopped completely. I asked the guides and the masters and the galactics everywhere to stand by. It's going to be just me and God, and that's it. And so the God in me, the highest self, source, presence, show me the way. And I completely went into a surrendered space. So interesting enough, from that place, the first 5 months, I met so much of the density. As I met them, I transformed. Then there was a language around it, because then I witnessed Michael go through it. And then, so together as a sacred union, we began going through this. I went through it first, and then I was guided to put a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day meditation to help others, because it brought so much freedom. the most important thing that happened was I was able to completely heal my nervous system, calming it down, completely calming it out, connecting it to the golden Christ-like frequency. Because this Christ-like frequency could not completely come in. It could not completely bend, because the light bends when you're meeting all these density and heaviness. So the more I meet this, the more space open up, the more octave of light change, the more dimensional shift took place inside of me, the more I was able to expand, the more I was able to be in my crystalline diamond light body, the more I was able to viscerally experience it, and then having more and more language around it, and then recognizing that as this being was being like literally washed, transformed inside my emotional body, then my physical body was releasing. So what was happening was the years that Michael would work on me, from all the pain in the shoulder, neck, they became so much less. The headaches became so much less. I started having less and less ascension symptoms. I started being more with me and my highest me. I began literally choosing more of the higher self-love for me, instead of sacrifice and compromise and sacrifice and compromise. And more freedom began to open up in me. My body started becoming fluid. And what is amazing is that between this, the hot flashes, the severe hot flashes I was having as I was turning 50 in a couple months, 3-4 months, and the severe hot flash symptoms I was having, they calmed down. And of course, with the support of Michael's weekly acupuncture, I have not had a hot flash since last year until this just past week, a whole year. I have not had these hot flash symptoms, because I was able to literally, through this experience of daily presence. And what I mean by this presence was being with my highest version of self, the highest light, that God true reality, and literally experiencing it and connecting it with Mother Earth's Gaia, the Gaia that Tara, the true new earth, with her crystalline diamond heart inside my crystalline diamond heart, and the crystalline diamond consciousness of the Christ light. So more and more of the Christ light I began experiencing. And halfway between, I began start experiencing more and more of the joy. And in December, I started really getting the call that 2022 is about the joy, joying through it, joying through the experiencing it. And 2022 is really about joy. And that's why you see a lot of my posts is around that. And when I turned, I remember when I turned 44, 6 months ahead, my higher team said I have to be in Mount Shasta for the morning of my 44th birthday. So I organized everything, went there. And that morning, I remember when I woke up, Saint Germain said to me, these first 44 years was very tough because you agreed to experience these. The next 44 years is going to be filled with celebration and love and joy. And when Michael and I were also in Long Island, Smithtown, when I was doing channeling the masters in 2019, the one of that one event, the Syrian High Council came through me and spoke to the group and really prioritized joy above everything else. And so it's taken a little time to finally be here and recognize the power of joy. So today being day 365, daily presence, I had presence meditation. I had such an incredible presence meditation this morning, sitting here and connecting to the golden light, the Christ golden light, and really experiencing it in my different bodies, and seeing the magnificence of what this crystalline diamond light really is. And it's in all of us, but it can't radiate properly when all of these heavier energies, emotions are in the emotional body, and then they're stored in the mitochondria of the physical body. And this isn't anybody can do it for you. You got to do it yourself. You really literally got to meet it and bring your love, your highest love to it. And it moves from this little self to the higher self. And then it allows it to vibrate through the different bodies. So it becomes a living vibration, because that's what's being birthed. That's what's being be earth. We have to ground this energy, and you can't do it when you're totally out of the body. And as most of you know, those of us who are channelers, those of us who are mediums, trans mediums, and I'm an incorporated channel. And of course, I communicate with many different star beings in different languages of light. So many, I stopped all of them for a year. It's completely stopped. And what was important to my highest self said, I need to ground this energy into my body. Most of us who especially have had those traumas in this incarnation, especially sexual abuse, we've been wanting to constantly move out of the body. We don't want to be in the body. There's this association that's been also me, but this whole year, 365 days, I've been forced to be in my body and really be here and really be present, be now, be completely here, and less interactions with, with all the different social medias and all of that, and just very present so I can be earth, literally be in my earth body from my Christed light, from my crystalline diamond light, bring this diamond light. A lot of people speak of diamond light, and for those of you know, I was initiated in the diamond crystalline light by Yeshua, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene 9 years ago. And it took 5 years to ground that energy before I could actually do the full activation on others. And those of you that know, it took 2 years to facilitate the actual transmission of the crystalline diamond light body activations for the people that felt the call. Then I had to stop completely 2 years ago, so that it completed. So those who move into this crystalline diamond light body, they become transformers. So these transformers, the energy moves through us, spirals, vibrates out, and grounds it. And what I learned was I couldn't completely ground it while I'm trying to escape this deep pain inside of me. It had to ground so much without me going anywhere. Again, just as I've done so much healing work for so many years, but this core one had to be met. So I want to show something to you real quick. This is what was so beautiful was it started with this journal here on this day that I posted on 1/27 last year, 2021. And I went through writing almost every single day in it, and what they were showing me what was being communicated, not they, what was my higher self communicating, and what I was meeting, the various experiences, and especially my family, everything that we went through. And then this is my this year's book, and today I wrote in it. And what is so significant of this is the divine timing of being here today, back in Washington, D.C., while Michael is in Florida. As most of you know, I had to fly back right away because one of my youngest son's best friends committed suicide on Tuesday. And this is a devastating shock for my son, though he knows a soul is eternal, but this was quite tragic and hard only because a couple of years earlier, he's also had 2 friends that were murdered 1 year apart. So as a result of it, I knew I had to come and just be a mom. But the divine timing is very significant as I arrived last night here. And remembering that level of pain. When we are in that much pain, we just can't face it. How horrific that feels inside. I remember that panic attack. It's just I was never scared of dying. I've died, I've come back, no problem. Facing that pain was so hard. So my heart really went out to Nevon's friend. That pain, he couldn't deal with that pain. So this is what the action he chose. Just imagine how much pain he was in. And then here we have different choices. If we can sit in meditation, we can transform that energy. But even sitting in that is very scary when there's that much pain that is in the body. Now, this pain that I speak of also connects to 4 years ago that when Michael and I were together 4.5 years ago in Los Angeles, when Archangel Michael came through me because he was speaking of the pain that's inside the bodies. These things take a while to transform out because it is held in the mitochondria, and that mitochondria doesn't just release it, it literally wraps it, stays in it. So I feel so blessed to be able to directly go through this, to have had the navigation how to do it and how easy it is. Anybody can do this, transform and take their own power back. How to do this, but what it requires is devotion, determination, and truly that like it's determination and devotion are a big one, and commitment to show up every day for yourself, to really gift yourself, love yourself, love yourself. So this love is what allows the energy to transform. So being here last night, my son was very angry, and there's a lot moving through him. And I woke up also just feeling in my divine mother energy, divine father energy, divine God energy, like, wow, this is a true celebration that we each are gifted so perfectly with these gifts, treasures inside to rise the vibration. We can always go to healers, do it. That's beautiful too. We're there to support that. However, that inner daily devotion is the key. How much are you willing to love yourself? How much are you willing to really gift yourself, to take the time for you, to meet you just as you brush your teeth, wash your face, change your clothes? How are you willing to sit here, see what's going on inside of you, meet it, and see what needs some adjustment, some energy, some love, extra love? So that's been for me for 365 days. And I'm very, very grateful, so thankful, and so thankful I was able to lead others across the globe in that 30 days in June. Then many of them wanted to go in 60 days. And then some of them wanted to go in the 90 days to experience that true transformation themselves. And here I am in this 2022, celebrating this wonderful, blessed day. Me being here, embracing, accepting all of this, and Michael in Florida a few days, and I'll be back there a few days with my love. And what I'm very, very thankful for is all of this is also part of this next phase of the 7 days of choosing highest divine love above all. That's coming up as a group on February 12th through the 19th that I'm going to be leading. For those of you that want to, you can find out more about it. And this divine love, what's it like for us to choose for 7 days what feels the best? Because it's what is within us to honor, to really honor. How can we navigate through the day, even as mothers, even as parents, even as colleagues? Can we choose the highest love for ourselves first, without sacrifice, without compromise? And what would life be like? And what would that be like if we're allowing that to lead the way. You're not selfish, but self-love, like really self-love. So that's coming up, and I'm really excited to journey with those that want to journey for 1 week with me there. It's going to be wonderful. And you can email me at honeyb1111@gmail.com. And I'm really looking forward to that wonderful experience. And I'm excited to celebrate today as my cells feel this beautiful crystalline light. So much light. Hi, Denise. Thank you for being here. This crystalline energy of, we can speak of it, but there's so much to speak of. A living vibration embodiment is the key, and grounding the energy where whatever's taking place on the outside is no longer affecting you. You can say it mentally, no problem, but it has to be embodied, because when there is a frequency difference between the emotional and physical body, this can't properly ground. So it's all about grounding it, be-earthing it, birthing the Christ light energy. So thank you for this celebration, and I'm so glad I got to experience this and celebrate it with you, and just share a little bit about what I learned. And here are a few things that I learned in this year. The number one thing that I learned about myself is, wow, I really have a lot of patience. Wow, the quality of divine of patience is tremendous in me, to be patient with myself. The other thing that I learned was how easy it is to, once we meet pain and suffering, on the other side of it is joy, how quickly it transforms. But getting there is very difficult. But once you get there, then it's easy. The other thing that I learned is, wow. Wow. And as I met this, and I released it in my emotional, my physical body, it's amazing the abundance of financial flow really opened up in me. How is that possible that these two were connected that I never knew? Because the energy is just energy heavy, like wow, and gifts from universe that could have never even imagined. Wow. That is quite a wow. The other thing that I learned from this 1 year is how beautiful it is to have the clarity and not be swayed. You have a clarity, you don't need to defend it, explain it. It just is crystalline clear, and how freeing that feels. The other thing I learned about this 365 days is the value of the sun. Everyday meditation, and sometime not having sun makes a difference. But when you meet the sun, what that sun does with this Christ light, wow. I always knew it, but I never knew it to the level that I know it now. Makes a ginormous difference. What's another thing that I learned in this 365 days? The gift of withdrawing from outside and being inside. There's such a heavenly realm in here, and every day it grows even more. And that's that portal. We are the living portal that earths, like literally be earths, the heavenly realm here. So we have to go in to be able to be a living portal, to allow it to vibrate, to alchemize in this dimensional reality. So powerful, so profound. And I learned the other part in this 365 days, even when my tooth was hurting, it was a nerve pain. They wanted to do root canal. I was able to heal it totally with meditation, with this crystalline light, this diamond light, bringing love to it. I never had to do surgery. It is amazing when we are present with ourselves and we are present to who we are, what this temple of God is capable of. It is a holy temple. And then finally, everything has been able to make sense to me. When 11 years ago, I died on January 8th, 2012, and when I was in spirit side and life after death, and the spirit side, when they said to me, to create these temples of divine on earth, for years, as most of you know, I was on the road doing the planetary work, clearing, and then trying to create these living temples that they show me, a physical structure. It took me a while to recognize these are the actual living temples of light that was being communicated to me, that is being created on earth. So now I totally grasp that. Anyway, so much love to all of you. Thank you so much for joining this celebration of mine with me. I just want to share a little bit raw, real, what was happening in me in this morning and this celebration. And I welcome all of you to, if you want to learn what this specific presence meditation that was shown to you by my higher self that I went through and I led others, email me. You need to give me a good 2 hours so I can show you, walk you through it. And then you got to commit yourself for good 30 days minimum, 60 days, so you can go through it. It's with you, but it does require determination, devotion, and definitely daily love. So, and if you like to take part in my upcoming 7 days choosing highest divine love above everything else that's coming up, February 12th to the 19th, email me. I'll share all the information with you. We'll have a Facebook private page for this so we can share what's going on with us. So it's very sacred, very, very beautiful, and a beautiful, safe container for us to experience this. And can you really choose to love you for 7 days? Like really love you like you've never loved before. And I love to journey that with you. So love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, Michael. And I can't see who else joined in here. Thank you, Ascending Ancient. I don't know who that is, but thank you so much. And thank you, my Instagram family. Wishing you a beautiful, blessed day. And just thank you for being you. All my love. Thank you. Let me know if you have any questions.